So the last piece I want to talk about is going to be new features, and I'm hoping that you have the opportunity maybe to demo a couple things for us. And the things I'd like to talk about or expand on a little bit are the areas that were kind of missing in the past. And that was really a good mobile experience. Most of us remember ShoreTel Mobility, and it worked. And I was a user, I was an adopter, but it had its limitations, and it never really quite caught on. Um, can you show us a little bit about what the mobile experience is like within the RingCentral environment?
Sure. If you don't mind, I will. This is like working without a net. I'm going to try to share my screen just so I can show you a couple of things. And obviously, this is not going to be a full-fledged demo, but to give you a taste of a little bit of the way this works and what you can expect, let me show you. This is the desktop client right next to the mobile app. And like you said, in the old world, some of these things didn't work as well as we had hoped. In the new world, especially with RingCentral, these are rock solid devices. I can make and take phone calls on my computer and or on my mobile phone. They have the same feature set, so I can do messaging, video, phone, text, fax. I can do the same thing here. They are in concert. So the nice thing about the cloud ecosystem is that everything works together, especially if you're using all the different pieces from the cloud vendor, as I was mentioning with all the things that you see here. So when I go in to make a phone call to a user, you'll notice over here that the mobile phone does know that has occurred. And so I can switch from my desktop software to my mobile software just by clicking this little green bar here. So it's aware of that state change. The other thing is, again, talking about this interconnectedness of the ecosystem that is cloud, is you can see here, I can go from a phone call into a video meeting. So, instead of switching gears and sending out an invite and having a lot of people join into that meeting, and then now we're back talking again, I can in real time go from a chat into a phone call, go take that phone call, move it to my mobile phone, take the mobile phone, move it back to my desk, switch to a video meeting. All of that is a lot more fluid. And I like to say it allows you to move in two different directions, horizontally across the different devices. So I'm not tethered to one location, and also vertically across the different modes of communication. I start out with a chat, but that might get too slow. I'd love to talk to you on the phone. I push a button. Now we're talking. And then if I want to go into a video call, I push another button and now I'm showing. So I've got this ability to change and move and work where I need to work and work in the way that I want to work. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits, is that now with cloud, we are getting that where all of this does work together and the ecosystem is aware of all the piece parts. This is not obviously meant to be a full demo. We don't necessarily have time for that today, but it is something that if you can get a demo with a sales engineer, I think we can show you how all these pieces work together really well and give you those avenues I talked about before. Is I don't just have to do a phone call. Maybe I want to text someone, or maybe I want to send a fax. All those things coming from one interface and being able to just get to them quickly and easily allow users to communicate and really worry about not how they're communicating, but what they're communicating. If it's a single button press and I'm into a meeting, then I don't have to worry about how do I get into that meeting. All I worry about is I'm in the meeting now. What do I want to show you? What do I want to talk to you about? And so, like I said, this is not a full demo, but just a little taste of what some of those options are. And I think you already can see that these things really work together very well.
In ShoreTel, Mitel, man, I could talk and say that same thing all the time. ShoreTel, Mitel. So one of the great features about that heritage solution was the idea of work groups, right? ACE, kind of like call center light, ACD light, server-based function, allowed for call queuing, some reporting, some more advanced logic, a step up from ring groups, and that was something that always kind of set apart the ShoreTel solution from many other on-premise products at the time. Moving to the cloud in the past, that type of functionality has been difficult. Most customers were urged to go to a full contact center deployment instead of being able to stay within their UCaaS environment. So does the work group functionality of ShoreTel, Mitel, translate into RingCentral today?
It does, and at a very nice level where you sort of have those degrees of complexity. Some customers, a work group, a call queue is more than adequate. They don't need to go to a full call center or contact center. And in RingCentral, I'll just show you this. There is the ability to jump in and accept queue calls. And this is not contact center. This is call queuing, where a call comes in and I might want to have 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 15 people answer the call. I'd like to be able to have my team accept those queue calls and be able to jump in and jump out of the queues like they could have with work groups. And I can even get to the level where you could jump into specific work groups, or in this case, call queues. Same thing. I can have a user who's got this one tool and they're able to fax and text like we were talking about it earlier, but also answer queue calls. And I can do that either on the desktop software, or if I go up here to the corner, you can see I can do that on the mobile phone as well. And so that really allows people to work from anywhere, because they don't have to be at a desk phone. They can use their laptop, crack it open anywhere. They can work from their mobile device, an iPad, an iPhone, Android. But that work group component is absolutely there. And I do agree with you. I think that was one of the great things of ShoreTel, is that you could have that intermediary stage. It didn't have to be 0 or 60. You could run 45 miles an hour if you wanted to, somewhere there in the middle.